Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. All right, so something that's been getting a lot of attention lately has been cancel culture. So there's some debate about what cancel culture is, but I'm going to go with this definition on Wikipedia, which sounds good enough. Cancel culture, also known as call-out culture, describes a form of boycott in which someone who has performed an act that is considered a violation of today's social justice norms, even if those acts occurred very long ago, is thrust out of social or professional circles, either online, on social media, or in the real world, or both. They are said to be canceled. And let's see, who else? That's a good enough definition. There's others that other people may use, but we'll go with that. So I'm not exactly in opposition to this form of cancel culture. What this really means is the public holding public figures accountable for their own actions and views. Where I start having problems with the cancel culture is when the corporations engage in cancel culture, in which case it is called censorship. That is, we've seen cancel culture being used with elections. In 2016, there was widespread cancel culture, complete media blackouts against Bernie Sanders. In the past year, we have seen absolute blackout conditions on Tulsi Gabbard. And we are continually seeing blackout cancel cultures regarding third parties. We see cancel culture from the media regarding universal health care, universal basic income. They are never given an equal voice. Each of these personalities and issues are only presented from the corporate-friendly side. Facebook has become famous for their censorship, and so has Twitter. And any corporate media, they don't have to present any view or any subject at all that they don't want to. You want cancel culture? How often do you hear our public media talking about the fact that we are currently bombing 7 countries? You're not going to hear them talk about that. They don't mention it. They'll mention one country or another separately, but they try to keep those split up into different days, time frames, etc. So where cancel culture is concerned with you and I, if we're exercising our freedom of speech, if students get out and protest against some speaker at their college or university that they object to, such as somebody that is a known racist. Okay, that's not canceling anything. That's not canceling that person's right to speak. That is just saying that we don't want to hear what they've got to say. You've still got the right to say anything you want to say, but I have the right to not listen to it. There is a big difference between whether I change channels on TV away from, Fox, MSNBC, CNN, or if I do not go to a web page. You cannot force me to go to a certain web page and listen to what they've got to say. That's not cancel culture. When the New York Times is called out as a source of propaganda, or CNN, or Washington Post, or Fox News, or what Fisher Media. This is not cancel culture. Now, I have a problem with people just negating a source overall, aside from certain ones that I object to myself. But, I'm not going to quote. You're not going to hear me quoting, Rachel Maddow. By the same token, you're not going to hear me quoting any of the right-wing conservatives. This is not canceling people out, holding them to account, holding them responsible for the potential harm that they do. This is not canceling anything out. So I'm tired of hearing about this. It's not right to even have it as a term. We should be talking about censorship. But when groups of citizens say we don't want to hear hate speech, that's holding that person to account for their hateful presentation. For, I don't want to hear Nazis. I don't want to hear KKK Grand Dragons speaking. I don't want to hear somebody that thinks that the genocide in Palestine or Yemen is okay. I don't want to hear people that are pro-war. That's not canceling them. They still have the right to their opinion. They can go talk to whoever they want to in some other venue. But I'm not going to listen to it. I have that right. Freedom of speech also includes freedom of not listening to specific speech. So when we have a movement against cancel culture, that's like the war on terror. It's a vague, nondescript, and conflict against nothing. This is just saying that we have the right to censor you. And anybody that's in favor of this war on cancel culture, so many of them think that it's completely okay for corporate entities to censor whoever they want. That's real cancel culture. If some media source claims to be a news source, they should be obligated to present each side of an issue. On top of that, such as universal health care, okay, we hear how expensive it would be from corporate sources, but we don't hear the people speaking on how much it would cut costs from the other side. It's not presented. It's not acceptable. We hear our media talking about going to war and, anti-Russia, anti-China, invade Venezuela, invade Iraq, invade this country and that country, and keep the wars going forever and ever and ever. But we don't hear any peace activists on on corporate media. You can be called, if you're against warfare, you can be called a terrorist. You can be called anti-American. You can be called a Russian troll. And I've been called all of these things. You're a traitor if you're against killing people in other countries. Well, all right, I said the other day, our foreign policy has come home and become our domestic policy. From killing brown-skinned people in other countries, now we're killing brown-skinned people and locking up brown-skinned people right here at home. Black Lives Matter. Look at what the attempts are to suppress this movement. It's not an organization. It is a movement. It is an ideology. And yet, we're going to have it. We have a war going on our streets, with most of us being in favor of the tenets that Black Lives Matter are built on. We're against racism. We're against police violence. We're against the drug war. We are against all these things. How is that for a cancel culture? When people start talking against the idea that, people of color shouldn't be shot down in the streets or locked up in extraordinary numbers. If someone says, hey, that there's something wrong with you for having this view, that's cancel culture. All right. This is pretty vague, but yeah. When the federal troops march into Portland or Chicago or New York to silence your freedom of speech, that's cancel culture. All right. That's it for this. Please share this video. Talk about these subjects. And if you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel. And I will see you in the next one.